Unofficial election expenditure, the type of expense that the EC is trying to control. Money given to voters, alcohol given to voters, clothes given to voters, etc. But note that in all of this, the money which was black, some of it has been converted into white money in the hands of the politician, in the hands of the political party. But this is not the real scandal. The real scam is what happens next. After all, why should a big industrialist or a big businessman give away 500 rupees of his own money? What does he do? What is he expect in return? And here is the real scam. What happens is that the politician, when they come to power, gives them access to things which they should not have access to. For example, resources of the country. You have mining contracts being given for iron ore, for coal, for aluminium, for oil and gas. Resources which are worth thousands of crores to India, which are given away for a few hundred crores. Spectrum allocation. You have contracts for roads, for bridges, for highways, for airports, which should cost a few hundred crores, but which are shown as costing thousands of crores. You have bank loans, where a balance sheet cannot support more than 10 crores. They are given hundreds of crores of loans. And in due course, these loans are written off. You know, we talk about the enemies of the state. We have neighboring countries, but they have a name. They have a face. We know who they are. We know what the danger is. These politicians and industrialists who are looting the country, these are also enemies of the state. But they are nameless and they are faceless. And these are the people who must be caught. You can do a quick search, Anuj, on Google. You can see the scams of India, thousands and thousands of crores. But I want to say one thing, that money leaves a trail. The Comptroller Auditor General has investigated many of these scams. Many of these are lying before the courts. It is time that we prioritize these and find out who these people are and take action to punish them.
That's true. So, Meera, I mean, if the Modi government's strike against black money is to be successful, in your view, what are the next top 3 decisions that need to be taken? Sort of follow up on this to really carry through and make it a success.
I think it's very simple, Anuj. I think the first thing that we need to do is to strike at the root cause, which is political funding. Let the ruling party say completely, immediately, that they will not accept any cash donations. All donations need to be by check or by electronic payment. And you don't have to do complicated electoral reforms for this, and you don't have to have all party meets. Let the ruling party declare their intention is honest, they will only accept by check and electronic. I think every honest industrialist in this country will rejoice. It will make doing business in India easier. Because remember, that an official check donation to a political party is 100% tax exempt. So everyone will be happy with this step. The second thing that I think we need to do, which is very important, we are basically facing a national emergency. This is a very big step. Millions and millions of Indians are taking a lot of short-term pain, making big sacrifices. People are dying, people have lost their jobs, people are standing in queues for hours on end. This needs to count for something. The Prime Minister should tell the Chief Justice of India to prioritize the investigations of all the scams. Let us put these on a fast track. Let these scams, which have been pending for many years, let them be investigated swiftly. Let it be known before the next set of elections who are the dishonest politicians and industrialists. Let us take action so the nation can be cleaned of this scourge. And the third step, of course, is simply on implementation, Anuj. A lot needs to be done on that.
So, coming to implementation, and the inconvenience and suffering, suffered by a lot of India's residents. So, we're seeing, yesterday, the Modi government, Narendra Modi, our Prime Minister, he announced the results of a survey that he had conducted. And so, the results of that survey, of course, the representativeness of it can be questioned, but, the overwhelming 90% support this move. And we're seeing a lot of people fall into sort of 2 camps. So a certain section of people think that, this is a bad move, this is flawed. fundamentally and principally. But there is also, I would say, perhaps a larger section of our country's population that perhaps feel that this is a good move, but the implementation has been very bad. I mean, could you talk a little bit about this dichotomy and whether a policy can truly be good if its implementation was not taken into account, if preparation was not done, and was not executed?
So Anuj, I think really there are 3 steps in this. The first is, what is the intention? Secondly, what are the policy measures? And thirdly, what is the execution? I think there can be no doubt that all of us are united. Every single honest Indian wants black money and corruption to stop. Every single honest, patriotic Indian does not want counterfeit money in the system. And all of us want to move to a digital and cashless economy. So the objectives, I think we are all united, are good objectives. The question is on the policy measures. And you have some very eminent economists both within the country and abroad saying that demonetization, and basically when we are talking about demonetization, it is removal of liquidity of 86% of our currency from a system, from an economy which is basically a cash economy. I think the majority of economists and some very eminent people in this category are saying that you are risking bringing the entire economy to a crashing halt. It is a catastrophic move from an economic policy point of view. I have to say, I believe they are right. Let us talk about counterfeit money. You do want to move counterfeit money out, absolutely right. Unfortunately, the speed and the shoddiness with which this has been done, you have notes which are running color. You have very senior government officials saying that there are no new security features in this note. Now, if you were a counterfeiter from across the border, I think you would be, having a good laugh and saying, all right, how long is it going to take us to get our act together to counterfeit these notes as well? So I think that's regrettable. I think if the aim was to remove counterfeit notes, you could have easily gone to technology which is available, which a lot of other countries are using. You have notes which have polymer substrate, which are very, very secure. If that was the aim, it should have been done with a little bit more thought, and we could have had better notes which were not amenable to counterfeiting. And certainly in cashless, I have a lot of questions. I think that could have certainly been better done.